Good afternoon, everybody. It's good to see you all. Welcome to this ribbon cutting for our new Beverly Middle School. It's good to see so many people who are instrumental in getting the school built, and to see some of the kids who are going to the school here with us today. I'm going to turn the microphone over in a couple minutes to several folks who will have remarks, and then we'll cut the ribbon. I do want to say that we'll be joined in cutting the ribbon by are you a 7th grader, Heidi? 8, sorry about that. So you get to walk up and down all the stairs every day, right? Yeah. So when we cut the ribbon in a few minutes, Heidi is going to be holding the scissors because she designed the logo that is featured at half court on our basketball court and will be forever and ever now, which is great. Yes, thank you, Heidi. Why don't you come out here on camera so everybody can see you when they watch at home. Turn around, there you are, Heidi. Just right there, big smile. And then you'll be on camera again when we cut the ribbon in a few minutes, okay? Thanks. So there are too many people here to thank to single you all out, but we have members of our City Council and School Committee here, representative of all of the work that's going on. We have members of our Building Committee here. We have a whole lot of our school administrators here, both from this school and otherwise. And we'll hear in just a few minutes from our school committee president, Chris Silverstein, our city council president, Paul Guanci, our Beverly Middle School principal, Matt Posca, and our superintendent of schools, Dr. Hershey, in that order. But that's after we call on former Mayor Scanlon to come up. I just want to say, look, we all know we tried to do this once, and thank God that when Bill was stricken, that he was here with us, that we were all here together, and there were people that knew what to do and stepped right in. And so this is a very happy and thankful thing that we are all able to be here together today, and Bill's able to come up in a minute and share a few thoughts. Again, so many people to thank that this has happened, that this beautiful school is here for our kids. And I would say that there was a vision and there were a team of people who pushed the need for us to build new schools, to renovate and expand on and modernize schools, and to build some new ones. And so there are a lot of people to thank, but former Mayor Bill Scanlon really was at the heart of it and led the effort, and led an incredible effort over 20 years to build a new elementary school, renovate and add on to 5 others, build a new high school, and start the ball rolling on building this middle school, which some of me and a bunch of us were able to step in and pick up and move forward to fruition. So again, that's all I've got to say today. Thank you all so much for everything that's brought us here. And Mayor Scanlon, please come on up and share a few of your words.
As I was saying, one member of the audience suggested that. Louise and I are pleased to join with you today as we celebrate the ribbon cutting of this fine school. I do apologize for interrupting the original celebration. I thank profusely those who helped me and made my being here today possible. It did take 6 weeks for my ribs to stop hurting from the CPR. A very small price to pay, I might add. My involvement in education in Beverly goes back 25 years. 1993, when the citizens of Beverly voted in many new school committee members, city councilors, and a new mayor. If you've been in Beverly since 1993 or before, please put up your hand. Well, I'm going to get fact-checked for sure then. The best thing about that vote was that all those who were elected worked well with each other and set the stage for progress. For the first 3 years, we focused on eliminating the $8.5 million deficit which we had inherited by generating annual operating budget surpluses which added up to that $8.5 million. Our first target was the elementary schools. When they were improved, we moved from 8 to 6 and then to 5 schools. As important as the physical facility improvements were, more important was the redistricting to spread the free and reduced lunch population evenly across all the elementary schools. Prior to that change, when more than 3 out of 4 children at the Washington Beetle and more than 1 out of every 2 at Abraham Edwards were enrolled in the program, the teachers with the high ratios had an impossible job. Our goal was to make it so that no parent should care which of the elementary schools his or her child attended. When we faced imminent loss of the accreditation of the high school and the expected 15% drop in real estate values across the city, and at the same time the school building authority imposed a total moratorium on new projects, we played high-stakes poker and won. The moratorium was lifted. Ours was the first project approved. Going forward, those projects to be approved faced a far more arduous approval process than previously, including a requirement for a so-called statement of interest to prove that the project in question was very important and implicitly more important than the project of the neighboring community who also had a project in the queue. We can thank one of the school committee members, Mrs. Maria Decker, for pushing ahead with the statement of interest for this building well before the high school project was completed. I worked with her on it, but she did the lion's share of the work. Had she not done what she did when she did what she did, this building might be still under construction. In total, we obtained SBA approvals and financial participation on all 8 projects. I doubt any other Massachusetts community can say that. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is hard to believe that we're finally here in this state-of-the-art building that will shape the future of Beverly. 7 years ago, as Mayor Scanlon said, this was a thought. People thought, what if we created a 5 to 8 grade middle school? And the people before us, before me on the school committee, posed this idea, thinking that it would be a good way to solve some of the issues that troubled the school district at the time. 4 years ago, that idea became closer to reality when the statement of interest was approved and accepted by the Mass Building Authority. Personally, I struggled with the thought of grades 5 to 8 in one building. My gut reaction was not to support it. I had to be convinced. So in my many years of advocacy for education, I learned early that if you don't like something, find out more about it. Get some answers. And you may very well be convinced that what you thought you didn't like isn't that bad at all. So I led a group of colleagues on the school committee and citizens from Beverly to set out to research grade 5 to 8 middle schools that were already in existence and were already successful. We wanted to learn about both the challenges and the opportunities. And there I was, convinced. I was convinced that we could make available to our school, to our students, many possibilities and many opportunities if we took on this challenge. So thanks go out to the 5 to 8 middle schools that took our calls, that answered our questions, and spent time with us as we researched how to be a successful middle school. Special thanks to the Linfield Public Schools, who allowed us to crawl around their middle school, and to the educators who spent time with us on that day, helping us learn about creating smaller learning communities within a larger building. When I look back at the key components that we learned as being integral to a successful 5 to 8 middle school, I am thrilled to see many of them in action today. When our educators here in Beverly were creating their vision plan for the program for this project, it is exciting to know that their goals are now being realized. They talked about ever-evolving growth mindset, a safe place to learn from mistakes. They talked about high expectations, belonging and ownership, inspiring creativity, experiential learning. The list is very, very long. Again, I'm delighted to know that they're in practice here today, and we all know that it takes a committed and dedicated teaching staff to bring this to life. So I am confident that they do this every day, and now they have more modern tools with which to be their best teachers. This is such a fantastic space for our teachers to teach and for our students to learn. And much appreciation goes out to the city administration, district teachers, staff, members of the school committee, everybody who had the vision, who worked along the way to make this a reality. Maria Decker, Anne Marie Chesa, Paul Manzo are the school committee chairs who began this journey during their tenure, and I thank them for their dedication, and I thank the current school committee for your dedication in this project as well. How wonderful it is to be here to be part of the next generation's history. There's a saying that says, "School is a building which has 4 walls with tomorrow inside." Thanks to the citizens of Beverly who believe in education and are willing to invest in our schools and in our tomorrow. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. What a great day. Pencil out of the air. Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Thank you, Mayor Cahill, for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. It's hard to believe that it's been almost 25 years since the start of Beverly's plan to renovate all our schools. Today is a special day as we officially mark the end of this incredible journey with today's ribbon cutting. Beverly is a special place. And years ago, when Mayor Scanlon was elected, he stressed the need for the executive office and the city council to work together thoughtfully and respectfully. This is how we were able to renovate all our schools on time and on budget without the benefit of a debt exclusion override. Former editorial editor of the Salem Evening News, Nelson Benton, who unfortunately recently passed away, always said that the citizens of Beverly benefited greatly from the working relationship between the two bodies of government. Through the years, it has not always been that way in our neighboring cities, and we read about that in the paper. What started back in the mid-90s with Mayor Scanlon still continues to this day with Mayor Cahill. While there are many people to thank for getting us to this point, I think it's important to recognize our 2 finance directors that were part of this process. John Dunn, under former Mayor Bill Scanlon, and Brian Ailes, who's here today, under current Mayor Cahill. Both men crafted loan orders, conducted public hearings, and made debt schedules easy for the council members to understand and believe in. The most stressful thing for city council to do is to approve a loan order for millions of dollars. Through the years, it was made a lot easier by having confidence in these 2 men. On behalf of all the councils that I've had the honor to lead, I want to personally thank them both. Finally, because we were told to be brief, I just want to report that the school's first drama class casualty is recovering well. After a fall from stage during last week's performance of Hamlet, my son Noah broke his arm, or his wrist, but thanks to fast action of Mr. Matthew Posker, our principal, he's on the mend and he will be back for spring training throwing his curveball. So thank you. Best of luck to all the administrators, teachers, and students here.
Thank you, Mr. Gawanti, and good afternoon. This really is an exciting day and an opportunity to thank and recognize the many, many people and organizations who played a role in making this new building become a reality. From Bill Scanlon, who had the foresight and the vision from the very beginning to submit the proposal to the MSBA, to Mayor Cahill, who has been an active participant and a leader in all aspects of the project. I also want to thank Dr. Hershey, Dr. Chirochuk, the Beverly School Committee, the Beverly City Council for their unwavering support and commitment throughout the entire process. It has been a collaborative team effort to create and design this facility for our community, and we are very proud of our accomplishment. I also want to recognize our architectural firm, AI3, especially Troy, Scott, and Darren, for their guidance and vision with the design and planning of the building. Their impact was significant, and I want to thank them for all that they have done. And finally, to the staff, the students, the families, and the city of Beverly, thank you for your support, your trust, your patience throughout this process. It has been a monumental effort and a tremendous amount of work, but this building will have a positive impact on teaching and learning for many years, and it allows us to be leaders and innovators with 21st century learning practices. Thank you very much.
So there's not much left to be said. But I want to add my thanks as well, and I think I had originally an outside view, which was very helpful. So when we talk about Beverly's vision to have a high-end education in wonderful facilities, there are no communities I know that have made the same kind of commitment that this one has. When I look at this building as the culminating piece of a long-range vision, part of what I remember is one of my first conversations with AI3, our architectural firm, and they asked me when they were going to have to start queuing up for the debt exclusion conversations. And my answer to them was they didn't, and they didn't know what to do. What was bought by doing that and not having to spend time on that is all of the energy of all of the committees that have been thanked up to this point, and all of the team from our builder to our project management firm to AI3. We're all focused on the building and what it can do. One of the key pieces that we did is we embraced the MSBA process. We actually read what they told us we were supposed to do, and we designed the educational program first. For all of the committee members, school committee members, building committee members, city council, remember back to those days where all you saw were circles, because we were not allowed to see the design of the building until we had wrapped our head around how it was going to execute an educational program. And then they started drawing the building. And when you come in here, I think one of the things that I've heard over and over again, and I've said myself, is when you walk in here, it turned out exactly like we thought it was going to. And that's not normal. And the difference for the staff here is just some real quick comments. The staff is so pleased to be here. One of the things that they were wrestling with as we were doing professional development is wide open spaces and talking about project-based learning and all of those kinds of things. And then they would go into a 95-year-old building where the heat worked some places, didn't work other places. And it was hard to envision what that really was. But when they got here, they've embraced it, and we're moving forward at this point. The last piece I would leave you with, because it's so rare to hear this in a community, is we ran tours for the community. First thing that of note is I've never seen so many grandparents toured by their kids into this building and how well the kids knew what the building was designed to do. Second is I've never heard so many grandparents say, gee, I wish I could go back to middle school again. Which said that they understood what we were trying to do educationally, which is rare. And the third piece is the number of people Chris and I heard when we were standing at the edge of the cafeteria, where taxpayers literally said, and I have to say I've never heard this before, I will be proud to pay my taxes this year because of this building. That's not normal. So congratulations to the community. Thank you to the community for all of us. It's been a great ride, and there's a lot more to do because we have to develop the educational program further. But thank you.
So almost all that's left is to cut the ribbon. But first, I didn't remember to give Heidi her present. So Heidi, do you want to come up with your parents? This is a rendering of your logo that's on the center court of the gym floor. So turn around with this, parents in here. Mr. Foster, where are you? Come on. Please, here we are. You have a camera saying you have somebody grab? Captain Lee? Yes. Oh, look at that. Cool paper, too. Yes. There we are. And before we go to cut the ribbon, last thing, I don't see Senator Lovely, but I do see Representative Paracella. And we should have started with our thanks to you folks, because not only have you been part of setting up the MSBA structure as it is today, but continually supporting its funding statewide and advocating from the get-go for this project for us. So thank you so much, Jerry, and thanks to Senator Lovely as well. And where's the ribbon and where are the scissors? Here we are. So the talking's done. Let's go cut some ribbon. And after the ribbon cutting, we do have refreshments in the library, and anybody who wants to walk around, feel free. If you'd like a guided tour, we'll be able to step off with a few of those in a couple of minutes. All right. So before we cut, why don't you hold those up as if you're going to cut, and we'll do a whole bunch of pictures before you actually cut. Well, all smiles. Let's get pictures over here first. Now we're going to turn straight ahead. And let's everybody turn this way. Now, this is pretty shy. How about if we count down from 5, everybody? Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.